So Bob, thank you for joining me today to talk a bit about E2. What was the genesis of the project?
I'd been wanting to write an adaptation of Edward II, of Marlowe's play, for a long time. And I'd been wanting to work at Rep Stage, and I'd been wanting to work with you. You know, I had pitched a few things over the years, and then out of the blue, I texted you and I said, have you ever thought about an adaptation of Edward II? And you texted back something like, oh my God, I love that play.
Yeah.
And we texted back and forth for 10 or 15 minutes. It felt like there was an interest in both of our parts of exploring this. So next thing, we talked the play out. But I knew that Marlowe's play was just too big for the contemporary stage. It had 45 characters, and it was sprawling, and I was only interested in the first third of Marlowe's play and in focusing on the relationship between Edward and Gaveston.
Yeah, and I think what it's become is a beautiful, tragic love story because the focus has gotten so specific on the two men.
Right, and I definitely wanted to honor, you know, the Elizabethan tradition of this is a romantic tragedy, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think for us the challenge that's also been super exciting is how do you take this very big play, very big classical play, right? Where we know from classical work the stakes are always so huge, and find the right container for it in a contemporary lens and for a contemporary audience.
Sure, and that probably starts with situation and language. Certainly with technology, they use cell phones, they text, there's video, there's live streaming in the play. So certainly with contemporary technologies, but trying to establish some sort of analog to the contemporary royals. What does it mean to be under a 24-hour magnifying glass in the eye of the 24-hour news cycle?
Right.
Also, I think in bringing Marlowe's play from 43 characters to 5, it becomes much more manageable, and we're dealing with 3 relationships: Edward and Gaveston, Edward and Isabella and Mortimer, and then we added Edward III, which was a journey of its own.
Right. I mean, and matched with the unfortunate nature of what's going on for the LGBTQ+ community, not only here in this country and in the world, and that constant threat of our rights, violence against that community. Seems so timely in this play from thousands of years ago.
From thousands of years ago, and there are just echoes of it throughout the production and throughout the script that I think are really going to resonate with audiences, and yeah.
I do too. We've been working on this together for almost a year now.
Year and a half.
The first workshop was last December.
Right.
And a second workshop this summer.
Right.
And then now the rehearsal process.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about, for you as a playwright, what the process has been like?
It couldn't have been more ideal. To have that much time to work with you and with one company, and ultimately with a set of actors, has just made all the difference in the play. And it also, I'm a nervous writer, so it also gave me plenty of time to make mistakes and to experiment and to feel my way around. And then knowing, very early in our process who was probably going to be in the cast, I was able to write for them. So everything that they have brought to the room and to the process and to their own individual character's arc and journey has made it onto the stage in ways that I would never have been able to do on my own.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and talking about the show.
This has been wonderful.
Here we go.
Okay.